Which ballpark was the first to have live organ music?
Was unlit until 1988.
And one of the last to have a hand-turned scoreboard?
Find out next on Sarah's Wiki Corner podcast.
It is time for Sarah's Wiki Corner. So, hello, Sarah.
Hello.
Hello. What are we learning about today on your Wiki Corner?
Well, we're continuing our theme week on the haunted history of 5 American landmarks.
Oh, yes.
And so in honor of Halloween today,
Yes.
I thought we would talk about the most haunted baseball park
Oh, okay.
in the country.
Which is?
I know you love the topic of baseball so much.
Love baseball.
But the most haunted ballpark in the country is apparently Wrigley Field, home of the Chicago Cubs.
You're kidding me.
Yes.
How so?
One of the best-known ghost stories is retold by security guards who have heard the telephone in the bullpen ring in the middle of the night. Now, it's not a wrong number that someone's just calling accidentally.
Yeah.
Because the phone is a direct line to the dugout.
Okay.
So the only way that you can ring the bullpen is
from the
dugout.
And there's nobody in the dugout?
And they're not in the middle of the night.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
So they say that it's haunted by the spirit of Charlie Grimm, who was a Cubs manager in the 1930s and 40s. Some guards have even claimed they've seen him in the hallways. Now, one possible explanation for the reason why he haunts the stadium could be that his ashes were spread there after he died.
Oh, is that what happens when you spread the ashes there?
That's where you live forever. I don't know. No,
Eesh.
I don't know.
And what does he say? So who answers the phone? What does he say on the phone?
I don't know if they answer the phone.
Well, how do we know it's Charlie?
Because he's haunting the dugout.
Oh, so he's the only one that could be there haunting.
Yeah.
Maybe there's somebody else haunting who
I don't
likes
know.
the phone.
Well, fans also say they've spotted famed WGN broadcaster Harry Carey in the press box and in the outfield bleachers ever since his death in 1998.
Well, if you answer the phone, you'd know it was Harry Carey on the other end.
Yes, you would.
Sure.
Yes, you would. So Wrigley Field was built in 1914 as Weekman Park for the Chicago Whales. They were a Federal League baseball team.
The Whales.
The Whales.
Wow.
The Cubs played their first home game at the park on April 20th, 1916. Chewing gum magnate William Wrigley Jr. of the Wrigley Company acquired the Cubs in 1921. The stadium was named Cubs Park from 1920 to 1926 before being renamed Wrigley Field in 1927. And the Cubs also shared the park with the Chicago Bears for 50 years.
Did they really?
They did. Wrigley Field is nicknamed the Friendly Confines, which is a phrase popularized by Hall of Fame shortstop and first baseman Ernie Banks. The oldest park in the National League, it is the second oldest in the majors after Fenway Park, and the only remaining Federal League park. And it was designated a National Historic Landmark in 2020.
Oh, so they can't bulldoze it?
No. Wrigley Field's features include its iconic ivy-covered brick outfield wall, distinctive wind patterns off Lake Michigan, and the red marquee over the main entrance. Those ivy vines were planted against the outfield walls in 1937 by Bill Veeck, who was the son of the club president at the time. Following a later change in MLB rules, which requires all outfield walls to be padded, Wrigley Field was grandfathered into the rules, meaning it's the only stadium in the league without padded walls because of the ivy. So you crash into the wall, you're, I guess, padded by the ivy. I guess
so, yeah. Very soft ivy.
Wrigley is one of the last parks to maintain a hand-turned scoreboard. So there's a number turner who watches the score changes on a computer and then updates the scoreboard manually, replacing the numbers from inside the scoreboard.
That's kind of cute.
It is, right? Unlike the home of the Red Sox, the scoreboard at Wrigley is mounted above the center field bleachers rather than at ground level, which makes it harder to hit during play. No players have hit the current scoreboard, although at least 3 have come close. Wrigley Field was the first major league ballpark to introduce live organ music in 1941. It was also the first ballpark where fans could keep foul balls, and the first with permanent concession stands.
Oh.
Yeah. The Cubs were a holdout against night games for decades, not installing lights at Wrigley until 1988.
Wow.
After baseball officials announced that the park would be prohibited from hosting any future postseason games without lights. So they hosted day games only. They only played during the day until 1988.
That's wild.
Yeah.
What was their holdout? Why do they not want lights?
I don't know.
Just
but
purists?
Night games are still limited in number by agreement with the city council. So, yeah.
In Chicago,
I know.
no less.
So Wrigley is one of the only ballparks where neighborhood residents can sit on their roofs and watch the game. This wasn't really a problem for the Cubs organization until the 90s, when owners of the apartments built bleachers on their roofs and started charging people to come watch the game from their stands.
Brilliant.
So eventually the owners of the apartments agreed to share some of the proceeds with the Cubs. And the Cubs agreed not to block their view with a fence.
How about that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, just give us a piece.
Yeah.
Give us a piece of the action. I'm surprised that, like, when you go to, like, the Bills game or whatever, you park on the, everybody opens up their yard or whatever, you park on there, charge you $40 a pop. I'm surprised the
Bills don't get in on that action.
Why don't they get on that action?
I know.
All right. You picked out a record to go along with the Wrigley Field, did you?
So we're going to play, since it's in Chicago, we're going to play the song Chicago by Frank Sinatra.
We'll do it, Sarah. Thank you so much. All right. There we go. Facebook. It's really hard with this hat on. It throws me off.
you off?
Throws me off big time.
You're wearing different headphones today, too, because you can't wear your normal headphones with a big hat.
With a big hat on. Boy, all kinds of falling apart here, aren't I? Anyway, today's Wiki Corner brought to you by our friends at Niblack Foods in the Genesee Valley Regional Market. If you're making cookies for your dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need the flour.
You need guidance, they will give it to you, for sure. For sure. That really is like, if you enjoy cooking, it's really such a spectacular place because they have literally everything you could ever possibly need and new things that you've never tried before with all their different seasoning blends and the local products that they carry. Yeah. It's really a great place.
And they're always rolling out new stuff, too. You walk in there.
I think like in the past couple months, what have they, like 3 or 4 new seasoning blends that they've created? So
they have fun with it there. And, of course, they'll answer any questions you might have about anything you're trying to make. Don't be embarrassed to ask questions. They're very helpful people.
Definitely.
Over there at Niblack Foods in the Genesee Valley Regional Markets here on Halloween. So I saw this study real quick. We don't have a whole lot of time here. A new study has found that animals like to get drunk.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Like they eat like fermented.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Animals that eat fruit and nectar enjoy a buzz from naturally fermented fruits.
Wow.
And monkeys may even get tipsy to socialize.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I feel like every once in a while you see those videos of like a drunk bear that ate like
those are funny.
Like fermented apples or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah. Making a fool out of himself.
That's really funny.
Just like humans. All right.
How do they know they enjoy it though?
Smiling.
They just seem in a better mood.
It gets so hard. Stand by. Here we go. It's Frank Sinatra's Chicago on Legends 102.7. Sarah, do remind us, why did we just play that record?
Well, because we were talking about Wrigley Field, the home of the Chicago Cubs, of course, as part of our theme week on the haunted history of 5 American landmarks.
You got it. Let's recap 3 things we must take away from today's Wiki Corner. Are you ready?
Ready.
Go.
All right. Wrigley Field is the oldest ballpark in the National League.
It's one of the last parks with a hand-turned scoreboard.
And it didn't have lights until 1988.
And then they lit it up, but still limited number of night games.
Still limited, yeah. Mm-hmm.
How about that? It's one of those fields, I feel like if you're a real baseball fan, a lot of people want to go visit that field. I see a lot of people posting pictures like, I made it to Wrigley Field.
It's really, it's a cool stadium.
Yeah. Have you been?
I have.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, when we went to Chicago, pre-COVID, so 2019, I think it was. Yeah, it's a very cool stadium.
Well, speaking of baseball, my condolences to you and yours on the Yankees loss last night, the World Series to the Dodgers. So,
terrible.
Yeah, that's all. I just wanted to bring it up and just leave it.
Floppy.
So, folks want to learn more about Wrigley Field, Sarah. Where do they go? What do they do?
You can go to my Wiki blog. If you go to legends1027.com on the homepage, there's a link that takes you to my blog where I post everything I talk about every day.
So, plus you can always watch this unfold live and see the costumes today on Facebook, facebook.com/legends1027. And we archive all of this stuff up at YouTube. Go to YouTube and search Sarah's Wiki Corner. Like and subscribe so you see when we upload stuff there as well. Wonderful. Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
One more episode in your theme week, Haunted History of 5 American Landmarks, back here tomorrow at 4:10, okay? Okay. Rusted Root, Donna Summer, and a lot more straight ahead. We've got the legendary Drive at 5 coming up at 5 o'clock, and so much more on Legends 1027.